everyone. My name is Biplab and I am from West Bengal. I gave CAT 2021 for the first time and I couldn't score very well. I scored only 25 percentile and decided to repeat one another year despite having 2 years of gap without any work ex. So I appeared at CAT 2022 again, but the preparation didn't went very well because I had I was busy in various other works in my home actually, and I was not confident about CAT. So besides CAT, I started preparing for CMAT as well, and luckily I got 85 percentile, and the scorecard will be available in this area in some time. And also I cleared all the sectional cutoffs of many of the colleges, mostly of the IIMs, and I got a call from almost from Rohtak, then Amritsar, IIM Lucknow's FEB program, Nagpur, CAP, CAP is there also. Like all the baby and main IIM, baby and new IIMs, and one of the black is actually Lucknow. So today I am here to share the interview experience of CAP. That was my second interview after Rohtak, and let's see the experience of CAP. So I had my CAP interview on 13th of February 2023, and this year IIM Udaipur conducted the CAP process, and as we know that the trend started of GK by IIM Trichy, and this year also the trend continues, and the CAP process started in February 13th, and in that particular day I had my interview, so I had no clue that about how this year's trend is going or which type of questions they are asking. So I was blank, and I went to the interview openly, and I was glad that the whole interview went very well and flowed according to my what I gave the hint. They picked up and asked questions from that only. So it was started like that. So tell me something about yourself. I told. It was like answer prepared, duration was 1 minute and 1 minute 10 seconds like that, and they asked about my name, that is Biplab, and I told that the meaning of my name is revolution. Obviously they asked that, and the next question was pretty obvious, that are you a revolutionary or did you did something that is revolutionary. So I told that in this 21 years I couldn't do some very significant, but I was among the few candidates or few students from my village who could get into a college and pass out. My majority of the students are my fellow batchmates or friends or elder brothers. So did they quit the education after 10th or either 12th, or some among some of them didn't set for the matriculation exam also. So I told that. Then they asked about what my elder brother is doing. So my cousin brother actually, to be specific. So I told that he is in Chennai doing a job in daily wage basis. So I told that. Then the next question was are you a fresher or a work ex person? So I told that I am a fresher. So they asked why are you here to do MBA? Shouldn't you feel that you should have a relevant work experience then come to the MBA? Then I told what I had prepared. So I told that. Then I mentioned a term that was efficiency. So they asked the next question what do you mean by efficiency? So, and in which way are you more efficient than others? So I told that I am on the path of learning, and I can easily grasp all the concepts as I am still in the touch of education, unlike the others who have 2 years or 3 years work experience. So also they may be very efficient, but I have an edge over them. So I told that because I am like a blank paper, you can write everything on me, right? And if you go to a work experience, then you become molded thing, right? To adapt in the education again, it is a very difficult task, not a very difficult, but it is a difficult task. So I told that they were pretty much satisfied. Then they asked about my background. So I told that I belong from my agriculture background, and I mentioned about some projects this way, that way. Okay. So then he asked, see, the ma'am was asking all these questions. Then the ma'am asked about, are you, do you have some managerial skills? So I told, yes, I have, because you cannot deny that question, right? So I told that yes, I have some managerial colleges. Then she asked, what managerial colleges do you have, and how did you realize it that you have the colleges? So I told that about the project I did in the second year of my graduation. I was the farming compost project, and I was a team leader. So I told that, and when I was telling that, so she asked about all these colleges can be gained or learned from your work or from other sources as well. So what the different thing you have learned from there? Then I told about the networking abilities. So the next question was, so what do you mean by networking abilities, and what is networking actually, and how does it help in your career? So I explained that in a very layman's term, and they were pretty much satisfied. Okay. Then they asked me about with how many persons I networked or I connected. Then I told about the research head of OUT. Then I mentioned all 2 or 3 persons who are doing research or doing PhD from other universities as well as from my college also. So I mentioned that. Then they asked me about what are the risks you have taken or you had taken while doing the project. So I told some of that, we had to miss some of the classes in order to meet some of the professors from other universities and so on. So then she asked me about, you did so much of hard work into that project and gained a lot of experience, and your grading also quite decent in your graduation, and it's a very interesting domain, that is biotechnology. So why do you want to shift towards management? So and is it fruitful? Because your knowledges are going to waste if you switch your career. Then I told that, ma'am, no, my knowledge is not going to waste, because in management I can use those concepts and learnings experiences in the MBA also, and that will be very unique because I come from a diverse background. And also after working some couple of years, I may get a chance to enter into the biotech sector as well. Then I can combine or merge all those experiences in my biotechnology and my skills in management and deliver a better product or better solution to the company or to the society, right? So I told that, and they were pretty much impressed. Then the ma'am asked about how your friends describe you. So I told prepared answer. Then the sir took over and he asked me about you belong from a rural background and you mentioned about agriculture. So tell me what are the constraints that the agriculture field is facing. So I told all the points that I felt that the Indian agriculture is facing, the issues. Then he asked about what is the government's role in that. Is government doing anything, something or not? So I told about the government schemes, what the government is lagging, and what should be done in the future. I gave 1 or 2 suggestions, and I took the time, and they were also patient. They were listening to my answer actually, and their reaction after the listening the answer was perfect. Okay, so they were pretty much impressed. Then they asked me about what is MSP, because I mentioned that in the corporate farming actually. So I told that minimum support price and explained the concept about it. What if the MSP is not guaranteed? What if the MSP is not a legal mandate? And what are the farmers facing? What are the specific issues that the farmer facing? Then I told that the MSP is not there in India. and sir, we had a little bit of argument over MSP because if it is there or not. I was telling that MSP is not in India, firstly. Then the sir was saying that no, as per I know that MSP is there in India. Then I corrected. I took 1 or 2 seconds, corrected myself. I told that yes, sir, MSP is there in India, like in our own state, West Bengal. Farmers get MSP of 2080 rupees per quintal in paddy, but it is not a legal mandate, and the farmers are protesting in order to make it a legal mandate. If the MSP is not provided anywhere by the government, if it may be by the government, by the companies, or by the traders, they can take a legal action on that. So it was the demand, and okay, so I told that, and the sir was convinced. Okay, and then they asked me about what is technology disruption. So I was not very comfortable about this question. So I took their permission. Can I take a wild guess or not? So they said that yes, carry on. So I told that there may be a technology that was present earlier, but a new form of it comes and disrupts. Like it's a revolution in every term. Like I gave the example of ChatGPT actually. So and they asked like how exactly the ChatGPT may be a technology disruption. So I told that there was various chatbots in the Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, Uber, every website. So chatbots are there previously, but how the chatbot system revolutionized by after coming of ChatGPT, that is a technology disruption. Or maybe I could say about Geo because Airtel, Vodafone, Idea, Aircel, all the telecom providers, network providers are present in India before 2016. But after coming to after the arrival of Geo, the data prices fall actually disruptly, and many companies shut down because they could not survive in this competitive environment. And all the major companies like Airtel, Vodafone, and Idea had to reduce their price, and the Airtel stood with the competitions, and Vodafone Idea had to merge, right? So that may be a technology disruption. So I told that. Then they asked me about whether I follow current affairs or not. So I told that yes, current affairs I follow. Then they asked me about what is globalization. Is globalization good or not? So I explained in my own layman terms. Then they asked me about what is short selling. I gave up, I was aware of the topic of short selling, and I knew the Hindenburg and Adani class, but I didn't exactly know how the short selling profits the short seller, right? So I explained though, and they didn't cross question me. And lastly, they asked me about why FEB. That was the last question. And it was a very pretty chill interview and lasted around 15 minutes or so. Like I couldn't feel the duration of the interview. So it was a very good interview actually, and hoping to convert some very good schools, B schools. Okay, bye.